Hey everybody, this is TJR. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. If not, welcome back. Hanging out with Superfan.
Hey.
Hey there. And of course, Grogu hanging out with us too. So, I guess I'll tell you all right now.
I think they have a big hint.
I think they do, but I'll tell them anyways. And also, they probably saw the thumbnail.
They might have.
Yeah, that might have been a big hit too. But I've rejoined VMP, otherwise known as Vinyl Me Please, the record club. I initially joined them probably about a year or so ago, roughly, and just to try them out, just to see what it was like, and was with them for roughly, I think, 4 months. Got some great albums. I also bought a few of their releases that were not part of their selections of the month because there were albums I really wanted to get. Picked up some of Fiona Apple's catalog, which, hard to find on vinyl, and they did their own specialty releases of it. And if you're not familiar with Vinyl Me Please, they're not a cheap record club. They're a little bit expensive. But they do specialty releases, and you're going to see one right now. This is my selection of the month here. Some of them are premiere, I guess, but some of them are just unique pressings of older releases. Many of them, in fact, all of them are unique pressings of older releases. But they do get some interesting stuff. They do some interesting things with them. And so we're going to take a look here. And let's just...
Always creative.
Yeah, and always... aesthetically beautiful too. And they do their own pressings. They did announce that some months back, they are going to just have their own pressing plant. They're not going to source that out anymore. They're going to do it in-house, which to me sounds great because the quality control will be up there. And so let's open this up here and let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. That looks nice. Let me just fold this up here. Here, I'll show you real quick. So let's just show this to you here. There's a little sticker on the top here. It's they always do this. They have some little sticker here. Dino's Bar and Grill. If the boys want to fight, you better let them. And that's a little hint as to what this album is here. And so let's go ahead here and show it to you. Thin Lizzy Jailbreak. A lot of glare there, so I'm kind of moving it a bit here. And let's read this here. This is the hype sticker we're looking at right now. Thin Lizzy Jailbreak. Thin Lizzy's breakout 1976 tour de force featuring The Boys Are Back in Town and Jailbreak. Lacquers cut by Kevin Gray, coherent audio. Pressed on exclusive 180-gram Overmaster orange vinyl. Listening notes by Stephen Hayden, or maybe Hayden, H-Y-D-E-N. Art print by Jim Fitzpatrick, VMP Essentials. These have an obi strip here. And yeah, there is an art print here on the back that you can see. And... let's take a look at the back here. There's, of course, this text here on the OB here on the back. When Thin Lizzy's Jailbreak was released on March 26, 1976, rock and roll was at a fascinating crossroads. The old school dinosaurs who led 60s rock, The Who, Led Zeppelin, The Rolling Stones, were still standing, but limping along, already sounding like nostalgia acts to younger listeners. The next generation of arena rock groups, Aerosmith, Kiss, Black Sabbath, were grounded in a more flamboyant party-to-you-puke sensibility that would soon be subsumed by the ascendant heavy metal movement. Punk and metal were still percolating in the mid-70s, though. These strands of heavy rock were about to be profoundly shaped by a new wave of bands. AC/DC, Cheap Trick, and Motorhead would all prove to be pivotal influences on what metal became in the 80s, while the Ramones, whose iconic self-titled debut came out just 1 month after Jailbreak, and the Sex Pistols, who dropped their debut single, Anarchy in the UK, that November, set the path for punk. And then there's Thin Lizzy, who, in keeping with the stubborn individualism of their leader, could lay claim to both camps while belonging fully to neither. Jailbreak would prove as foundational to the future sound of metal as AC/DC's High Voltage or Motorhead's Motorhead, just as Thin Lizzy's no-nonsense musical approach informed the sensibility of punk. So there you go. And let's take it out here of this bag. We need to be careful here. They have these self-sealing bags, but I have, on occasion, in my enthusiasm to get to the album, been a little too aggressive the first time and accidentally ripped it. And so I'm going to take some care. Now what I'll do, of course, now is after I pull them out of these, I put them in a separate sleeve just for easy access on the shelf, so I'm not dealing with all this here. But we are going to take a look at all the little peripherals here. There we go. That's the self-sealing bag. Okay. And let's see here. Let's pull off the obi. We just read that to you here, but we're just going to pull that off here. We've got an art print in the back here, and yeah, these selections of the month oftentimes will have these art prints. And let's see, original artwork by Jim Fitzpatrick. Jim Fitzpatrick is an Irish artist famous for his beautifully detailed illustration work. Most notably are his Irish Celtic art and perhaps his most recognizable piece, the world-famous two-tone portrait of Che Guevara, created in 1968. He is also responsible for the production of much of Thin Lizzy's album art, most famously 1976's Jailbreak. I was reading off the back there. I figured you'd probably rather look at this than look at me while I read it. Okay. Grogu's saying, you figured right. So here we go. Let's look at this now. Very shiny. Ooh. First time seeing the back cover there. And let's see here. This is a gatefold. Yeah. We have a gatefold here. Very shiny. And this, let's see. Yeah, this kind of slips out. Does it slip out? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. This is the booklet. And this is unique to this pressing because we've got an essay here about the album. And they will do this a lot. You know, you'll get this separate booklet here, liner notes, listening notes, unique to this edition here. And so, there we go. I don't know how the original was packaged, but this whole idea where this booklet slides in here and provides the color portion of the artwork here. And let's see here. Yeah. I'll show you this again here. But again, a lot of glare. So I gotta hold it up just right there. Okay, let's check out the record. The record. There we go. What you doing, superfan? Getting a snack? I can tell. I can hear. So here we go. Here's the record in a black paper sleeve, but it does have, you know, anti-static, you know, I can't think of the word right now. I don't need to put it in an anti-static sleeve because it has that already on the interior here.
It's lined.
Yes. Okay. So here we go. Here's the album. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful, swirling yellow-orange. It looks like a dessert that I could eat.
Or the sun.
Huh?
The sun.
Yeah, or the sun. Yeah. There we go. And of course, this is, of course, obviously the original record label here that you would have seen back then in the 70s. I've never owned this album. So this will be a fun first experience for me. I've never heard this album in its entirety. I know the hits, of course, the two hits, but I don't know the rest of the album. So this will be fun. I will experience this album and see what I think of it. You know, at the end of the day, of course, while all this looks fantastic, am I going to like this music? And if it's anything like the two hit singles, yes, I'm going to like it quite a bit. And to a certain extent, VMP is about music discovery, more so. So I'm going to be doing some discovering. There we go. So there it is. I really like the sticker, Dino's. Really like that. Dino's Bar and Grill. If the boys want to fight, you better let them. That's great. Anyways, though, so I'm going to go listen to this, and I'll let you know what I think. Okay, it's been a couple of weeks since I opened this, and I'm ready to talk about the album, talk about the music. And I have to admit, this, again, was an album that, aside from its hit singles, I had never really listened to before. And the two hit singles, The Boys Are Back in Town and Jailbreak, definitely colored my perceptions of what this album would be like. I was expecting an album full of power chord driven rock and roll anthems. What I got was quite different. I was very surprised by the musical variety in this album. And hope you don't mind, I wrote some notes here on my iPad that I'm going to refer to here and look at and read. So let's start with the track Running Back. While this song does feature some really nice guitar interplay, it's musically driven by a Fender Rhodes piano. And this track honestly feels like it would fit right at home on a Bruce Springsteen album. There's even a little bit of saxophone on it if you listen closely. I could say the same for the track entitled Romeo and the Lonely Girl. Now, this song features very intricate yet very fluid rhythm guitar. And the Ooh, Romeo, that chorus with its doubled vocals, I swear, it feels like that song could fit on, like, say, Born to Run. The aggressive guitar solos, however, are there to remind us that it doesn't. Also, I could never imagine that this album could feature the more mellower vibe of a song like Fight or Fall, which features just a very soft rock, slightly jazz leaning to it. The guitar chords, just the whole way the chords are phrased. Once again, there's some very nice guitar work, but nobody in the band tries to overplay on this. Everyone just stays true to the vibe of it. The guitar is slightly gritty, not as clean as like the soft rock from the 70s that I'd be referring to, but still it's awfully darn close. Also, the very gentle tinged Western cowboy song was a surprise too. Now, the song starts mellow, and yes, it does segue into a much more muscular rock sound. However, I would say, close your eyes and imagine that Brad Delp is singing this song. And if you do that, you'll find that this song is a much more intricate take on basic rock and roll. Some of the solos on this particular track feel like they could have been written by and played by Tom Scholz, as a matter of fact. Fun fact, both Jailbreak and Boston's debut album premiered the same year. Now, this doesn't mean that the two hit singles are the only rockers on this album. There is Angel from the Coast and Warriors. Now, these are both definitely rockers, but unlike the two aforementioned hit singles, these two songs feature more intricate guitar rhythms and fiery guitar textures that really tend to lean more towards Hendrix, in my opinion. Another great rocker on this album is the closing track entitled Emerald, which comes a lot closer to the darker metal bands of, say, like Black Sabbath. Now, you may have noticed that I've mentioned Jailbreak and The Boys Are Back in Town, but I haven't really talked about these two tracks at all. And that's because I don't need to. History has already proven how good these two tracks are. You don't need me to tell you. But anyways, that kind of sums it up. I was very surprised at the musical diversity and variety on this album. And it's more than just its hit singles, definitely. I was also very impressed with the guitar interplay between the two guitarists here, Brian Robertson and Scott Gorham. Hopefully I've said that correctly here. I'm just looking at the back of the cover here. The entire band does a great job with all these tracks. Everybody seems to have a good sense of what fits the song. So if it's a mellower vibe, if it's a softer vibe, if it's a more rhythmic vibe, they don't overplay it. You know, when it's time to be powerful and hit hard, they do. But they understand how to play to the song. All of them do. Love the guitar interplay. Of course, Phil Lynott, and hopefully I've said it right. For years I've always said Lynott, but when Robert and I talked about an upcoming live release that's coming out soon, he pronounced his name as Lynott. And so, I don't know, maybe I say it wrong, maybe he says it wrong, who knows. But also his vocals. He knows exactly where to put the toughness in his vocals and when not to. And anyways, though, enjoyable album, you know? Like I said, this was just one that escaped me for a long time. And when I rejoined VMP, they basically made me a deal I couldn't refuse. And I realized that the first selection in their essentials for the month of August was going to be Jailbreak. And I thought, okay, I've always been familiar with this. I've always known about this album, but never really listened to the whole thing. So I'm glad I did. And this was a fun album. Anyways, so that was this month's VMP selection. And let me know what you think of this. Maybe I'll do one for next month as well. I've enrolled for 6 months. So we've got 6 months of hopefully really cool album surprises and discoveries. So hopefully you'll join me. As always, if you like what I do here, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a video. And now, thank you, Patreon supporters. You are fierce and mighty. And I really appreciate your support. Patreon supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos that do not appear here on the channel. If you'd like to be a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/TJR the original. And mostly, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. That helps a lot. And we'll see you in the next video. Stay safe and healthy. Take care.